guys, Victoria here. Today you get to see the most amazing Reiki treatment. So please subscribe, please watch to the end as Louise finds it incredibly relaxing and I talk you through an inner child visualization. So get yourself nice and comfortable and relaxed, maybe even ready for bed, and I'll see you soon. So what is Reiki? Reiki is Japanese therapy, meaning universal, meaning everywhere, life force energy. Life force, and what is that? It's the thing that keeps us going. So you might say it's your heart, it's our blood that keeps us going. It's our breath. And it's even more than that, because it's the thing that's deep down in you that makes you want to get up in the morning and give you vitality and enthusiasm for life. And I'm hoping with this series that you're getting the essence of what all these different therapies that I'm showing you give you, and that's essence for life. And Reiki particularly will give harmony. So it works on all the chakras. So there are 7 key chakras, but many more of the body. And Reiki will assess and then help balance each chakra in turn by using various symbols, by using movement. And the main thing therapists are using is intention. And that intention is love and healing. And we also use our intuition. So it's not just what we're feeling with our palms, we're also sensing what's going on inside and around the body, around its auras. It's a beautiful feeling to be able to give Reiki and help someone feel themselves again. So I hope you enjoy watching. Stick to the end because I talk Louise through an inner child visualization, which you may want to do yourselves, but it's quite deep, so you might just want to observe, or you might want to follow my words and visualize it yourself. So be kind to yourself, lots of deep breaths, and do ground yourself at the end. Thanks very much for joining and subscribing. So here's Louise, my Reiki client, and I just preparing for a little beautiful Reiki healing session as I cover Louise up with a thin shawl just to keep her secure and safe, covering her eyes with a little cucumber water from the tropic range, and then a wonderful eye pillow which helps provide comfort and reassurance. I've previously asked Louise to ground herself should she feel like she's floating too high or flying during the treatment, and this she can do by taking deeper breaths, by pressing her hands and heels into the couch, and if necessary by opening her eyes a little and seeing some light from underneath the eye pillow. Louise is now incredibly tranquil, and the first thing I do is just tune into Louise's aura and see at first what is happening. Once I sit down, I'm very gently touching the tops of her shoulders, and this introduces my physical body to Louise, but it also is a way of assessing the energy between us. So she will now be working out subconsciously exactly what kind of energy is being received. The lovely thing about Reiki is that it can only provide energy for the person's highest good.
And this phrase you will hear a lot with Reiki, highest good. It's the best possible arrangement of physical, mental, emotional and spiritual energy which is right for you at that time. This energy may vary from one morning to an afternoon. It may vary from one day to another, and it certainly varies from one person to another. There is always a different sensation that I feel from every person. And I am simply the facilitator. I am simply there to help channel and direct energy through me to various physical parts of Louise. And through her auras, she receives and helps balance and harmonise those energies. You can see that I have just provided some Reiki symbols, and this is what most practitioners will do quite early on in the treatment, once they have channeled some white light, grounded themselves, grounded the client, and channeled into the beautiful universal life force energy. Rei means universal, meaning everywhere, and Ki, just like Chi or Prana, means life force energy. Other people refer to this as God, and this can create euphoria. And you can see now I am experiencing the most amazing sensation of happiness. I feel like I am beaming and I'm unable to keep my face straight. I just have that gorgeous feeling of contentment for Louise. I've moved my hands from her shoulders to above her head, from the sides of her face, and now I'm hovering, I'm not actually in contact with, above her eyes, her orbital bones. And again, another feeling of euphoria. There is various chakras of the body, ranging from the crown chakra to the base chakra at the lower torso. I'm currently just hovering above the third eye chakra, also called the Ajna chakra. And this area, a point between the eyebrows, may well resonate the most amazing colour of deep purple. And that purple may well be experienced by Louise underneath her closed eyelids. She may well be seeing colours right now. And more often than not, the therapist and client will see the same colours at the same time. It's not normally a conversation to be had because I wouldn't want to disturb the client while they're deeply at peace. But I know from experience and talking to clients afterwards that we normally do see the same colours at the same moments. I've now moved my hands slightly further down towards her jawline, over her nose and mouth. And this is in between two chakras, the Ajna and the throat chakra. Now the throat chakra will be giving Louise a feeling of freedom. In the throat there is the blue energy connected with our breathing, respiration, but also with expression, how we express ourselves, how we communicate, what we wear, what music we listen to. Some people may well have blockages in this area, and Reiki therapists very soon find out if there is any blockage there by experiencing sensations to their palms. I'm talking to Louise now to visualize a beautiful blue healing light. The sort of healing light that she may well drink into her throat and neck, to drink or breathe down deep inside her. Personally, I often think about a beautiful blue waterfall, and that waterfall cleansing, clearing and cleaning through my throat, helping me breathe, helping me drink, helping me talk and express myself effectively, beautifully and clearly. This helps us communicate with others. It helps absolve tension. It helps us be understood. And more than anything, it helps us understand others. I've now used various hand positions from above her nose and mouth to the sides of her jaw, just to below her jaw and over the front of her throat. There is soft music playing in the room, helping this beautiful feeling of tranquility. Occasionally, I am flooded with a beautiful feeling of harmony. The warmth and the serenity of the blue light help absolve any blockages to the throat. Sometimes I ask people to visualize wearing a blue silk scarf delicately placed around their neck in order to soften, provide freedom and clarity to the neck and throat, imagining the blue silk scarf gently moving as if you're turning and adjusting the scarf around the neck, therefore agitating any blockage and softly coaxing movement, coaxing any blockage to be dissolved and move away. Frequently we need to give those blockages permission to leave. We tell our throat and neck it's okay, you have done your work, you are no longer of use, you can now leave, and I give you permission to go. I give you permission to go. I would like more space in my throat and neck, in my throat chakra, more space for good and empowered communication and self-expression. I would like to listen to those people that want to talk to me. So my hands are now at a good distance away from Louise's ears, helping that function, so that Louise may listen attentively with good communication skills to her clients, to her family and friends, to her colleagues, to those that wish to communicate with Louise. My hands are very gently soothing the way. There's a very gentle movement there, almost as if I was giving a little massage in a circular motion around the ears and the jaw to help smooth the way for improved communication, freedom, and for improved breathing, our source of life. Now encouraging slightly more release of any blockage by gently touching an area called the TMJ, the temporomandibular joint, which is the hinge at the jaw. This area is responsible for some neck, cranial and jaw issues. I'm sensing a little blockage there. So once I've spent some time there and felt that the blockage is releasing, I'm able to move on to the next chakra. You can tell by Louise's breathing and her movement that she feels that we have made some progress there and she's ready to move on. I'm now just very gently moved on to the heart chakra. I'm now giving Louise the beautiful visualization of the colour green. The wonderful thing about Reiki is it helps us with introspection as to where our harmonies and our chakras are lying. The energy at our heart is one of the most amazing and abundant energies that we feel within ourselves. And the more love, passion and healing we feel within our hearts, the more we are able to share that amazing energy with others. This can be shared with the world, with nature, with other people, with animals. And I'm feeling that I need to spend a little bit of time at this lovely heart center, simply because this chakra will help all the other chakras. And the reason Louise has come to me today may not be simply for the heart itself, but I know that when we treat our heart, we treat many other areas within ourselves. The green heart energy can be experienced by visualizing leaves on trees, perhaps with recent raindrops, a little breeze, and sunshine filtering through onto the delicate green leaves. Imagining those leaves cleansing with the wind, the raindrops, the warmth of the sun, and the movement of that green energy through our hearts. It's a beautiful visualization to drink into the heart chakra. I'm simply facilitating by providing the visualization, by providing myself as a channel for the energy from the universal life force energy of that Reiki down and into Louise's body, the white light through as a channel through the top of her head, through the whole of her body, the green energy through into her heart and around, and then spread around her body just like the heart circulation does around the whole body. That lovely green energy providing warmth, healing, love and passion, helping her heart, helping her heartbeat, helping any issues around the heart, the circulation and the blood. You know, Reiki is traditionally a Japanese therapy, and in Chinese therapy, for instance, the cupping and core therapy that I provide, the Chinese believe that blood is life, and where there is flow, there is ki, or chi, or prana, which is this life force energy, movement and flow. My hands are slightly moving here in order to provide a little massage, if you like, a little agitation for any blocked energy. I'm creating a little turbo into that heart energy using a Reiki symbol that will help provide a little extra help. Reiki isn't just felt during the treatment, it is also felt for 2 or 3 days afterwards. There is a feeling of lightness afterwards, of harmony, like all of our body parts are working as a team. There is a feeling of oneness, like our mind is working alongside our physical body, that we have this sense of knowing. We just know. We are very much more in tune with our intuition after a Reiki treatment, which is an experience that many of us may well ignore if it does not correlate well with our lives. If there is an intuition that is telling us to move on and we're not ready to move on, we may often ignore our intuition. And yet after Reiki, we feel emboldened and more confident to give our intuition a little bit more attention. In fact, just telling you this now is giving me tingles and a sensation of empowerment and connectedness with my whole body and mind. I'm hoping this is doing the same to you as you're watching and listening. That heart energy is experiencing the most amazing green and connected energy deep down, a profound feeling of deepness deep into the heart and all around it, emanating around and outside Louise's body. Now moved on to the solar plexus, which is a wonderful golden yellow light above the abdomen. You may notice that Louise has moved her hands so that both palms are in contact above this area. It's an area in core therapy when we're doing an Anmo Fu treatment, the deep abdominal treatment, where we test and treat a particular Chinese meridian point called the anxiety point. Now, this anxiety point or solar plexus is a network of nerves, a physical place which can feel quite heightened. It can feel like the nerves are on edge. This is how it may feel to therapists giving Reiki above that area. I'm asking Louise to reflect on and visualize a field of sunny sunflowers as they turn their heads to the moving sunshine. Golden light emanating from the heads of the sunflowers straight to Louise's solar plexus. Another way of visualizing is to think about a lovely golden yellow scarf wrapping around the solar plexus. Decided to move on a little and work on the sacral area. The solar plexus needs more work, and sometimes it helps to work around the area even more and come back to the solar plexus. I'm now above the sacral chakra, which is the most beautiful area that relates to our inner child, creativity, imagination, physically relates to our sacrum in the lower back, our hips and our lower abdomen. I'm asking Louise to visualize a beautiful woolen orange scarf supporting and wrapping around the pelvis, as this is an area that quite often can feel vulnerable. I'm giving Louise the visualization of seeing herself as a child at around 10. You may want to do this if you feel ready to. This is quite a powerful visualization. Seeing herself happy with people that she was happy with at around that age, sitting and smiling. And then seeing herself as she is now, gently walking up to her younger self, smiling, holding her own hands, asking her younger self to stand up and hugging. Both Louises smiling and hugging, and Louise telling her younger self that all is well and all will be well. There is the most magical connection of healing, wellness and contentedness, of reassurance from the older to the younger self, and indeed from the younger self to the older self. This is a very powerful visualization, and only consider this if you feel ready and able and in a good place. And then coming back to seeing and feeling that reassuring orange scarf wrapping around your hips. Feeling that connectedness to your physical self, coming back to your grounded nature, to your torso. All is well. All is well. Louise may well be feeling incredibly content and relaxed at this time. She may have a feeling of enjoying the treatment, not wanting it to end. The treatment will continue down to the base chakra, down the legs. I will be connected and hands-on to the knees and feet, keeping her grounded and centered. I will be working on the hands and coming back up to the shoulders and head before I finish. This will all be in the continuation of this treatment that you will see in next week's sequel to Louise's Reiki. After this treatment, please do ground yourselves. Connect your feet with the floor. Have a glass of water. Rub your hands and hold your hands over your closed eyelids before gently opening your eyelids into the open fingers and smile and smile.
So in this treatment today, you will see me work with Louise's base chakra and then down her legs through her feet, which is essential for grounding and helping to bring people back down to earth, and also to help people who are a little bit in too much thought and in their heads, and they just need to come down to their essence, to who is them. And then I come up with the energy to hands and arms, back up to the head, and then I help close the chakras and bring Louise back to earth with a lovely wrapping sensation. So please do stick to the end, as you'll see Louise get up, come back round, and Louise and I have a little chat.
So at the start of the treatment that you saw last week, I made sure Louise was comfortable with a cushion under her knees, a cover over her whole body, some cucumber refreshing toner on the cotton wool over her eyes, followed by a beautiful eye pillow that just sinks gently into the eye sockets. You then saw me tune in to Louise's energy, the energy of the room, the interaction of her and my energy together. I opened with tuning into the white light above her head, allowing the energy to open, ready to treat the chakras. You then saw me treat the upper chakras, and I'm now resting above the base chakra. At the end of last week's, I talked you and Louise through a inner child visualization, which really helps connect us with our sacral chakra, creativity and imagination, laughter and fun. I'm now soothing using a massaging effect with my downturned palms over the base, also called the root chakra. I'm using Reiki symbols to help energize, correct, balance and harmonise that lower area, which gives us our survival, our determination and motivation, that feeling that we are strong and stable and capable in this life. We have all the tools we need at our disposal. I'm talking Louise through the red energy of the base chakra, massaging the aura, which feels such a dense area. That's a good thing. It needs to be solid and stable, supportive. Louise has travelled quite a long distance to get to me for this treatment, and she'll have that same distance to travel back later on. And I want her to feel grounded and rooted, not too lightheaded from the treatment, and able to drive home. I've now come back up to the solar plexus. This is the area I mentioned in last week's first part of this Reiki treatment, where Louise was feeling a little like there needed to be a little bit more help here. The solar plexus is all about our self-confidence, our self-esteem, and that feeling of introspection where we look deep inside ourselves at our essence. You know, what is it that keeps us going? What is it that keeps us motivated in life? What is it that makes us beam from ear to ear, our eyes shine, and our feeling of excitement and butterflies radiate from us? For me, the thing that makes me the happiest of all is when I can help people, when I can give people the key to tune into themselves so that they see themselves for who they are, so they can tune into that wonderful golden and yellow light of their solar plexus. And these are the words I'm giving Louise right now to help her see herself, her essence, for who she really is deep down inside. Louise has had the most amazing, life-changing experience in the last few years of changing her job, her role in life, the thing that motivates her. She has given up a very well-paid job, but one that wasn't fulfilling her inner need. And this is something I connect with myself. I did the same thing many years ago. I changed my career. Everything that was funding my life, I risked everything and managed, with the support of my dear husband, to change that part of me that was funding my life, and I became a therapist. And Louise has done a very similar thing. She was not happy in her old career, and she decided to become a canine massage therapist. She is now fully qualified, having spent a couple of years changing, educating, training, and providing the tools necessary for that change of career. You can see me using Reiki symbols here to really ground and solidify the changes, the harmony and balance provided at that center. I'm now in contact with the sides of her abdomen just above her hips, so that I'm grounding that change. So Louise has really gone for, she's been very determined and probably taken a few risks, but managed to get everything in place, and now is really busy and successful in her new role. I am so happy for her, and maybe she will comment on the feed of this video one day as to how this particular treatment has made her feel, and how the change in career has landed with her in her life, and what it's done for her. I think for those of us that do take that big risk and change our career to something that we feel is fulfilling and connecting with our inner essence, really makes us shine from the inside out. So, with this knowing, with Louise knowing and myself knowing where she is on her life's journey right now, I am helping her center this feeling at her solar plexus with that golden yellow light of sunshine, helping that chakra turn more easily and reassuring. You can see me smiling there, that I can feel that beam of light, those sun's rays beaming out from that solar plexus. And I am helping her with the reassurance that she has done the right thing, that she is on the right path in life for where she needs to be going, and that sometimes we don't need to concentrate on the areas where there may be a blockage. We simply facilitate the other areas surrounding any blockage to help the other chakras with harmony and balance, and they will come back and help other chakras connected with them to move, open, and accept energy and healing. In fact, this is what we do with core therapy as well. When we feel a blockage at a particular vertebra, we will simply come away from the area and make sure the connected and further away vertebrae, further away spine is able to move and shift, is able to isolate and not move as one long spine, but actually as isolated vertebrae. And now you'll have seen that I have brought my hands in contact with the body. I have been in contact with the knees and now come down to the ankles in order to help ground. If you've been watching my recent series on self-massage, you'll have seen that the ankles, feet and soles are very much connected with our ability to move on in life and our standing in life. If we don't feel that we are standing on a firm base and that our ankles are supporting our great weight, then we won't feel that we can move forward in life. So by solidifying and grounding the feet, it helps us to ground our standing in life and our ability to feel strong, stable, and we are supporting ourselves. How wonderful. Maybe where you are right now, you can feel that solidity. Either touch your soles to the floor, your hands to something that will ground you. Maybe where you're sitting, you can ground yourself from the base of your spine to your sit bones down to the earth. I've now come back to that chakra. Like I was saying, when I feel that there just needs to be a little bit more love, I come back and with my full intention, my full intuition, my power of sending love and healing, I'm coming back to the base chakra, giving a lovely, sending love and a power symbol to the base. Same again, power symbol this time to the sacrum, feeling into the solar plexus, using the symbol slightly closing so that Louise will go away protected and not too open in life, that we leave it ajar, moving up to the heart, feeling what the heart energy is doing, giving the power symbol slightly closing so that the door remains ajar. Giving a little bit more energy there. A couple more symbols. And now, using a different hand position, working around the throat, the thyroid, the neck, back to the blue energy, feeling it move. I'm sitting myself down so that I can feel more into that throat energy around the jaw that I spoke about in last week's. You can see me beaming here with the lovely energy and love that is coming through from that expressive throat energy, the Vishuddhi chakra. I'm now hovering above the face and feeling into the Ajna, which is the third eye chakra. This lovely purple glowing light is so reassuring. It helps us tune in with our intuition. It's such an important sense to have. Feeling around the ears for hearing and listening, and now over the crown chakra. I'm sending you some love as I'm looking at the camera right at you. The beautiful crown chakra, which can be seen as an indigo light. It can be a bright white light of healing, the sort you see very early in the morning as the sun first comes up. It's one of those translucent lights that surrounds and fills you with radiance. And I am tuning into that sense now. You notice I'm not giving Louise any visualization or words at this stage. It is simply the feeling of tranquility and connectedness. My hands now back in contact with Louise's shoulders to help ground and center, help bring back to earth so that all of the chakras are in tune with each other. They have been opened, balanced, energized, partly closed, so that they are in tune with each other and connected. And now it's so important to feel grounded after such a deep and profound treatment. Louise may well be feeling lightheaded and yet centered. She may well be feeling an intense warmth around her head and face. It's a deeply pleasant sensation. She may well be having visions like little dreams or life events flashing past, childhood memories, happy pictures vividly depicting past events. She will be left with a feeling of feeling cleansed emotionally, physically, and energized. Some people even have a sense of feeling close to a past relative, maybe even a vision in front of them of colours or shapes, or even taking form of something or someone in a beautiful light in front of them, in a lovely way that they can connect with them with a sense of reassurance, a totally settled feeling, not unpleasant at all, but actually feeling that it is right, that this vision was meant for them at this moment. Other feelings may be like their legs may be feeling longer and heavier. They may see or feel colours around and within them. They may feel grounded or a buzzing or vibrating sense on or around their skin. I'm just talking to Louise now to bring her back into the room. I'm keeping my movements very slow and quiet while I form a contact again with her energies, just centering down back to her feet, wrapping around over the top and underneath her. Sometimes Reiki masters at this stage will bring the energy up if they need to feel uplifted, and bring the energy down if they need to be grounded. And we simply do what we feel that the body, the mind and the spirit need at that moment. I'm giving thanks and gratitude, appreciation for this moment. I'm feeling a deep feeling of centeredness, a real connection with Louise and her energy at this time. It takes me a while to feel back into my physical body, and as I do so, I like to connect and ask Louise to feel in contact with her feet and her hands, to take a few breaths, to turn the ankles and the wrists, turning into the shoulders, rotating in order to move those arms, stretching down through the hands and wrists. It's such a lovely feeling to keep deep breathing during this wonderful time of coming back into the room, bending into one knee and the other in order to move into the pelvis. You may want to follow these movements at home at the same time. And now bringing the knees up to the upper body, holding and rocking from one side to the other. It's a lovely feeling to massage the pelvis and spine deep into the ground. The feet coming back down to the earth while the arms come back over the head, stretching one nice long body movement above the head, maybe turning to one side, as I call it, a banana, and to the other, stretching the banana the other side. Deep breath and back down to earth. And the sun has come out while Louise has been lying down. So I give a little caution that she may want to open her eyes very slowly, as it's very bright after we have had the eyes closed for so long. Louise has sat up. It's really good to have a glass of water to ground ourselves once more. She feels a great need for some thirst and clearing the Vishuddhi chakra, the throat chakra. She's feeling a little lightheaded, a little away with the fairies. So I have a little contact with her shoulder, a little laugh. And Louise needs that water, and in fact after one glass, she does then ask for another glass of water. And I ask her to do something which helps ground. You might want to do this at home. This is called a kavacha. So rubbing the palms together nice and firmly, and then holding those warm palms over closed eyes. Then very slowly massaging the palms into the orbital bone, feeling that darkness there, bringing the hands slightly further down and very slowly opening the fingers, just gently, and opening the eyes very slowly, so that we're opening our eyes to those darkened palms. And then using those warm hands and palms to massage around the forehead, the face, all of the cheekbones, the jaw, and into the scalp, all over the top of the head, the temporal bones, the parietals, around the back of the head, which is the occipital, and then even the ears. Louise and I now share a laugh over how she's feeling. She has another glass of water while she tells me all the different sensations, even the colours, the feeling of tranquility, but also, as she does have a good knowledge of the chakras, she's a regular meditator, so she is quite in tune with her own body, her chakras, and the colours. We are able to connect and share our stories on how she felt while I was concentrating on particular areas. She was talking here about each chakra. Solar plexus chakra, where I did spend quite a lot of time. And a lot of my aftercare is connecting and reassuring, allowing people to know that they have come so far, that they are an amazing human being, and that they can always come back for more at any time to suit them. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Let's spread a little healing.